Let's get this started. Evening, guys. This music sounds like sounding like it's going to break into Rocky Horror Picture Show, Time Warp, but never does. It's like the beginning of it. I'm drinking a Copperberg in cans tonight. It's a bit different, but it's not too bad. Hi, good evening, guys. Good evening. Thank you for the resub SP as well. Appreciated. Yeah, tonight's wine is cider in cans. Yes, it's actually really nice. I was kind of a bit apprehensive about it being in the can, but it's not that bad at all, really. I think cider kind of works in a can. Like, can you imagine wine in a can? That wouldn't be right at all. Actually, it reminds me of Always Sunny, where they're drinking wine out of a can. They want to drink wine in public, so they put it in Coke cans so that they can just basically get pissed off wherever they go because they're the people from Always Sunny. So anyway, yeah, good evening, guys. I realize I spelt Copperberg slightly wrong on there, so I'm going to change that while I chat to you. Hope you're doing well this evening, peoples. Old Moot, yeah, I do like a bit of Old Moot cider as well. It's nice. Old Moot's kiwi. Is it kiwi and lime, or kiwi and pear, or something like that? Very, very nice. A bit of Hay Club. What you mean? Whiskey, is it? That's what that sounds like. Ugh. I hate whiskey. It's disgusting. I put time on. Thank you to whoever requested this. Sort out my spelling in here. One sec. Oh no, that's even worse. Okay, it's better. There we go. Not that it changes what's already done. So, thank you for the sub, Kenneth Mirror. Welcome to the stream. I don't know why I'm saying that. I'm sure you were already here. Thank you, very much appreciated. Okay, so to be honest, I wasn't going to do tonight. I felt really, really tired. And by the time I'd realized I was too tired, I'd already napped and woken up. So, stream mate, I knew there was something I hadn't done. All right, let me fix that. Just before the stream, I was thinking to myself, there's something I haven't done, and that's it. Okay, let me sort that out quickly. This is part 19 of Let's Port. So thank you for pointing that out. This is what you get when you try and set a stream up with 10 minutes to go. Right, that should update now, hopefully. I knew there was something else. Right, let's give you all some points and let's get some quizzes on the go, and I'll get started on this. So there you go, 10,000 points to you all. Cheers. Yeah, 10k. Go on, Stats. Let's give him 10 seconds before it's all gone. Oh my god. Oh. Actually, you're doing all right, Steps. You're doing all right. Okay. Right, let's start the quizzes off. Thanks for the resub, Pixel Potion. Load sub, comment 8, come on. Very cool. Not too many clues to Sean. When he does the C64 stream, it's going to be really interesting. So he's never loaded anything from tape before. He's never used a Commodore 64 before. Not that I'm aware of, anyway. Every 30 minutes, yeah, for the quiz. And he's going to be doing a stream at some point. He's going to be basically setting up a Commodore 64 and trying to get stuff to load on it, which he's never done before. And I don't want anybody to give him any clues. I want him to figure it out because it's going to freak him out, I think. All right, let's start the races. We start with a Commodore quiz, yeah. Oh, quiz and race every 30 minutes. No, I haven't done that yet. Sorry. I've just not had time to do it. I did take a brief look at did I write it down? I think I've written it down. I did take a brief look today at whether or not I'd be able to get. Yeah, I have got it written down. Whether or not I'd be able to get Amiga mod files working. I don't see any reason why not. Um, I've just got to find a suitable way of kind of collecting all those tunes together. Is there no OS on the C64? There is an OS in the loosest sense of the term. I mean, there is something that loads when you turn it on. You'll give it's basically imagine loading into terminal basically. That's kind of what you're given. You're given a terminal. Um, if you can call it that. I mean, it's a very very loose analogy, but it's probably the closest I can think of. So you load into this it's the famous ready screen. You've probably seen the ready screen. In fact, I can show you just by doing this. It loads up. It looks like this, and that's it. But I'm not going to tell you what you need to do on this screen, or how it works, or how to use even things like the arrow keys and stuff. So, um, the most colourful and happiest terminal ever. Yeah, I actually enjoy the terminal so much that I changed my on my last computer. I haven't done it on this one actually. I changed my my desktop terminal to look as much like that as possible. Same font, same startup text, everything. Um, I think what's going to be funny is when Sean tries to do um, like tries to repeat the last command, things like that. If he attempts to do that, or tries to fix his mistake, or tries to use the arrow keys, just like yeah, up arrow. Good luck. There's two arrow keys. So it's yeah, you're gonna like it. It's interesting to say the least. So I think it'd be a really good stream once you get it up and running. It'd be a really good stream. I think I think a lot of people here are gonna want to watch it. I for one will definitely be watching it. Um, yeah, it should be fun. I believe I've given you some tapes in the cases, so that there's probably some clues in the game itself. But I'm not going to say any more than that. That's probably too much already, really. All right. Um, so what I'm going to do tonight is continue where we were left off last time, which is to do the it was like the stars on that screen basically. Show you what I mean. No, read trust me, you'll probably need to read the instructions. It would be really unfair not to. Oh yeah, the tape case is not a cartridge. The tape case is a case that contains a cassette. And have a pencil ready. Yes. uh, it reminds me of I watched oh I forgot I can't do that. I watched a YouTube video not long ago. I was just trying to remember where we were at with this. I think there was a bug in the thing, where a load of millennials or Gen Zers, I think it was people Sean's age actually, were given kind of ancient tech to use. And one of them was the rotary dial phone, and they couldn't figure it out at all. They just there's no part of modern technology that makes you think to use a rotary dial phone the way that you're supposed to use it. Yeah, but if you've never used one before, you wouldn't know. And I bet the fact that even though you think you know how to use it, I bet you'd still get confused because you haven't used it so much. Or at all. Have you actually used one? Do you just know how to use one? Because they took some funny approaches to it. It's very very cool video to watch. It took 3 of them ages to work it out before they figured it out. Oh, you have used one. Okay, you'll probably be all right then. Yeah, but make sure, Akmafin, that you do a little test first, because if you get it wrong, you end up you end up unraveling it inside the case. So you have to pick the right side and spin it the right way. So while that is good advice, it could also end up being really, really bad advice when somebody unspools their entire tape inside the case. Uh, yeah, imagine having a format that was like more fragile than CDs. CDs are relatively fragile, right? You scratch CDs and you can ruin them. But tapes, it just one one problem and that's it. Boom, it's gone. Having a tape player that would chew them up and stuff. Oh, awful. Okay, so these are the star fills that it's created now. I think I put some fake stars in here just to see if I could create a line, and it hasn't created a line, so that's making me think that the calculation for the position is wrong. So we're going to go and fix that first. So first of all, let's set this to a known value. I think this is a known value now. I think this should just be a diagonal line, and it's not. It's missing the bottom half here. I think it should have another one down here, and it's not doing. Uh, Let me just double check that in the code, and then we'll have a look. Give a taping instructions for floppy. No, unfortunately, I didn't have a spare disk drive that I could have given him. Uh, I mean, do I even? No, I still don't have. I've got a 1571 and a 1581, but I don't have a spare. I guess I could have given him a Pi 1541, but then that's just kind of adding an extra. I want it to be like original stuff. So there's some carts in there for the majority of the decent games are on cart, but I just put a couple of a couple of take games in that I had knocking around. I don't think they're anything particularly special. I wonder if there's any with this invader load. That would be interesting. Headies like, yeah, I did some testing before. However, saying that, it has been a year since it was used, and I don't know how much knocking around it's had. So hopefully it's okay. It should be all right, I think. I did clean. I took it apart, cleaned it, cleaned the rollers, um, and did a head alignment on it as well. So hopefully it's all right. But we shall see. If all else fails, there's some cartridges on there anyway. Have I used the Famicom? I haven't yet, actually. No. I've been really busy with other stuff, so I would like to use it at some point. I might play it on Saturday. Actually, I might get it set up on the desk next to me, and then after the stream on Saturday, we'll play some games. I've got loads of games to pick from, so probably do a vote on some or something. There's a lot to pick from. They're all Japanese as well, so I hope somebody can speak Japanese for when I get stuck. Oh, pardon me. All right, let's get another can open. I really hope there's an invader load game in that bunch, because I think that would be kind of interesting for you to see, Sean. The fact that games took that long to load, that they had games that loaded for you to play while games loaded. And if you've played Ridge Racer on the PlayStation, that did the same. That had Space Invaders load. Yeah, so they have a game. They have a Space Invaders game that loads up relatively quickly. like within a minute or something like that. So you can play that while you're waiting for the game to load. And in a lot of cases, it was better than the main game itself. I certainly turned once I'd played the main game a few times. I was like, "No, the Space Invaders game is better," and then just stop the tape and just play Space Invaders. Okay, right. Where's the screens? Let's not get distracted. Okay, so I think it's this one that I'm looking at. Yeah, so this is our stars here. And yeah, indeed, this should be. Oh well, actually, this is saying Film Max Stars. I come at A. Okay, yeah, no, this is fine. Uh, okay, yeah, so this should be. Well, actually, let's do it. Let's do it absolutely. I mean, this should be the same, but I just want to make absolutely sure that I'm not missing anything. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we'll do the same on here. And this is Y, so it actually has to reset at this point. There we go. So that should be the same. So I just want to see. So this is the pattern we're getting at the moment. You can play a small shoot while watching the demo. That's cool. That's the sort of thing you want. But the last game I remember doing it was Ridge Racer on the PlayStation. Had a Namco put a Space Invaders game in there. Yeah, there you go. So it's missing something here. Uh, because this is yeah, it should be something here. I just want to make sure that it's not a color thing. I don't think it is, but no, it wouldn't be actually because it would be on the same line. So I think this is fine. Just do it in red. There we go. Yeah, so yeah, okay, so it's missing some stuff off. But it should be a good stream. I don't know when Sean is planning on doing. I think he's moving house. Him and his girlfriend have just bought a house. They're going to move into it. When are you moving into it, Sean? March. So I think he's going to do it then at some point. March, yeah. So it should be fun to see anyway. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. Okay, so I think the problem is when we try and plot a single star, it's not going into the right position. So here's what we're actually doing. It's like the Y position is wrong. So let's see what's happening. So okay, we take our given the X position, we need to figure out which chart. Okay, so and it seems to be doing this all right. The X seems to be fine. Oh, is it that simple? Have I just done stars.y instead of it is that simple? Okay, I think that's going to be it. Well, surely you must have some kind of you must have some kind of warranty on stuff anyway for a while. I would imagine, right? They're liable for any problems in the first couple of years. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. So, and that's still not right, is it? In fact, it's hmm. Oh, get them while they're on. Yeah, because I guess otherwise you're going to be. Oh, why did you change colours then? You went different colours. What's that about? Why you went different colours in the chat? Strange. Oh, it's just my chat here. That's strange. Okay, so definitely something not right. It's not doing this bomb half. So let's just go through this routine and see what I've done wrong. Okay, so we take the x position and we get the fine x, which is our position within the char, and we use that to look up a char mask from here. Okay, that's fine. That's the char mask. Then we get the value again. We divide it by 4 here. Why are we dividing it by 4? Oh, because we need to double it to get hang on. So what I said last time was, oh well, if we divide it by 8 and times by 2, that's the same as dividing by 4. That's not quite true. So if we have, for instance, let's just do a 4-digit binary like this. So if I shift this to the right twice, I get 0, 1. Okay, so it's saying that our value is 0, 1 because these two get discarded as it shifts to the right. However, that's not the same as dividing by 8 and timesing by 2. Because if you divide by 8, it becomes 0. So if you shift those to 3, it's divided by 8, which then means if you shift to the left again, it's still 0. So there's a rounding error here. So that's one thing I definitely need to correct here, which is I still need to shift it and then shift it to the left. And that gives the char target, which makes more sense now, because now it's 2, 3, 4. Yes. So the moment that, yeah, I bet that's it. Because the moment that that third bit gets enabled, then it breaks. So I think this should be fine now. So sometimes trying to be clever doesn't work out, and you actually make a mathematical error. While technically the error is not not incorrect, it's just rounded in a way that breaks the functionality that we're after, which is we wanted a value that was flawed, rounded down. And there we go. Now we can see the straight line. So you can see how it's exactly 8 pixels and it comes back up to here. Perfect. It's exactly what we want. So now I go back into here and we have a look at this. So what I want to do is I want to create a system which is going to draw. Well, actually, let's just have a look at Cecconoid itself. Actually, have I already got it installed? I think I've got it installed. So I should have it installed. Oh, I don't have Steam open for some reason. That's all right. I'll find the video. The video's quicker, probably. Okay, so hopefully this. What happened to that? There it is. Hopefully this playthrough has that first screen in. We haven't got any of that in yet, either the instructions or any power-ups. Okay, so this one didn't have the. Okay, that's annoying. Thought it might have the secret, but it didn't. Okay, so I need a better video for that. That's the one. There we go. Okay, so looking at this, it is the varying lengths. Okay, so they seem to vary between 1 and maybe 3 pixels long. Okay, so what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to set a length as well. Okay, so first of all, let's do these again. What was it? 80, wasn't it? Yeah. and we'll do 23 plus 1. So what this is going to do, this is going to give us a length where we need to draw to as well. So the easiest way to do this is to plot our star as normal, but then what we do, as soon as we've plotted the star, so hang on, let's put so plot leading edge. So as soon as we've done that plot, what we'll do is we're going to do a clear at a certain point as well. And the way we do that is we take the same code for the plot. And we do clear trailing edge. So this is pretty much the same as we were doing before, but now we're going to use a fourth area. So I'm going to create another one here, and I'm going to call this X trail edge. It's going to be temp 4. And the way that's going to work is, let's just put it in here like that. The way that's going to work is we're going to take this trailing edge here, and then we're going to add, take our X position, and we're going to add our length in here as well. So, and then what we need to do is need to just compare it to see if it's more than 80. Actually, I'll do it in hexadecimal. So 50 is in hexadecimal is 80 in anything. Hey, cheers. Gamble all lost everyone. Yeah, that is how you do it. Let's see. Gamble seems to be kind of unfortunate for everybody tonight. Hey, Warlock. Okay, so if we are less than 50, we can just continue, which is here. Otherwise, what we need to do is we need to then subtract. Sorry, not 50. This is 80 in decimal. Otherwise, we're going to subtract that, and the end result gets stored at trail edge. Okay, so this is what this is doing. This is taking our X position of our star and it's adding whatever our length is, which will be 1, 2, or 3, to give us another X position, which is further to the right. If that X position extends past the end of the strip that we're working on, in other words, if it's equal to or exceeds 80, which is 80 here, 50 in hexadecimal. By the way, that's something you can do in Kick Assembly. If you just hover over the number, it will tell you the values in binary and decimal as well. If it exceeds that, then we just subtract 80 off it, so it wraps around to the other side, and then we store that in our temporary thing here. And then at this point, we can use that wherever we would use stars X. So we're going to use it here. And that's it. That's the only 2 places. It means we don't need this load here anymore because we've already got it in the accumulator here. We will do this and we transfer this. Now, this time, what we need to do is we need to get the inverse this time. So how best to explain this? So given the value that we've got in the table, hang on, let me bring up the tables. It's the tables here. Let's split this view. Okay. So given our pixels, this is our byte that we're drawing into, and these are each one of these zeros is a pixel that's turned off. So if our X is 0, then we turn in this pixel on. If our X is 2, then we turn in this pixel on. So in order to do that, we need to use the reverse powers of 2 here. And what the reverse powers of 2 does is for each index here, it gives us the value that we'd need to add. So in order to turn this one on, we'd need this value here. We'd need to and this value with 32. That's the value we need to or with the original value to turn that pixel on. Now, what we also need is the inverse power of 2 as well. So inverse reverse power of 2. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call it inverse power of 2. And what the inverse power of 2 is going to be is basically this. It's 255 minus the powers of 2. Now, the reason I'm doing it, in fact, I'm sure I should already have this because of the multiplexer, but let me check that. The multiplexer, I would have thought already had that in it. Oh, apparently not. No, okay. I wrote a better multiplexer as well the other day, but I'm not going to convert it for this because I don't think it's going to be ideal for this. But I wrote one for the Mega 65 to give me something that I could use properly. So actually thinking about it, I am going to call it inverse reverse power of 2, in which case I'm going to change these to go the other way. I thought I would need the other one, but apparently I don't need the other one. So, and what this does, this gives us a value that will turn off the byte at that point, because what we want to do is we want to clear the value at that point. And so what we do instead is instead of getting the reverse power of 2, we get the inverse reverse power of 2. If that makes sense. Probably not. So we start at the time mass, but instead of ORing it, we will AND it this time. So we take this is all exactly the same, and all we do here is we AND, and that's all we really need to do. That's going to give us what it's going to do basically is, first of all, it's going to plot a character here. So say our x is 2 and our length is 3. What it's going to do is it's going to plot a character here, and then it's going to look 3 ahead. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, and it's going to put a 0 here, which isn't going to really change anything. But then what happens is we move x to 1 by moving it across. So what it's going to do is going to do this. That's our existing byte. So it's going to go x equals 1. So it's going to come here and it's going to put 1 here. And then it's going to go 3 ahead. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, and it's going to put a 0 here. And then on the next one, we go x equals 0. And so we end up with this. But then on this one, this magical one, this is what happens, right? So say it wraps around to 7. So what will happen is it will go 1, 2, 3. So it puts an X here, then it counts 3. It goes 1, 2, 3, and it puts a 0 here. And so you can see what's happening now. So every time it draws a pixel, it takes one away off the end. So at first they'll start as dots, but as within a few frames, they'll have stretched out into lines. So let's show you that happening. So what I'm going to also need to do now is I'm going to need to update all the stars, which we've got here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a simple loop, which is actually going to, I might as well start with the max stars -1 and go backwards. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our value in. Now, for now, I'm going to move them all at the same speed, but we'll show you how we'll move them at different speeds as well in a minute. So I'm going to take our value from there. We're going to subtract 1 from it, and we're going to store it back again. And then once we've done that, what we're going to do is we're going to actually, before we do that, we're going to check if let's call this loop here. If the carry is still set, we just jump ahead. We don't need to do anything. Otherwise, if the carry is clear, what we need to do is we need to add our 80 on again, just to make sure it wraps around to the other side. Then what I'm going to very quickly go and do is I'm going to change this to 8 instead of 10. And I'm going to make this so there's a star on each row, each pixel row, but its position should be random within there. Let's give that a try. Thanks for the host, Andy. Appreciated. What did you request? Supercalif. What did you request? Supercars. Is there a? I don't think there is a supercars um for C64. There's no Amiga mods at the moment, so if you're unsure about if you're unsure about the sound, if you go to deepsid.com and search for the tune you want on there, then when you find it on there, if you copy the path out of there, then you should be able to use that path. So you see the path that appears. Well, actually, if you go to the requested SID tune, it should give you an example of a path search in there. So you just do the path without the leading slash. Yeah, there you go. Well, Eldritch has done it anyway. There you go. Ah, okay. Super. It's probably a space. So yeah, there's the fuzzy match. That's a really good example of how fuzzy matching can go wrong. So because there's a space there, it's treated the space as a character, and it's actually thought that super califragilisticexpialidocious was a better match, which is weird. Oh, NES game. Okay, interesting. I don't think we've had a NES game yet, actually. I think this might be the first NES game. It's not looking familiar though. Two, not a bad guess. Does not look familiar. The hell is that? Who knows what that is? Some pig guy turned into a statue. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Can't say I've ever heard of that game. Right, let's give. Oh, what happened then? It kind of came on and went off straight away. Oh, okay. It should be stars, no matter stars. All right, fine. Whatever. Whatever code. See, once again, I wasn't ready to do a stream, but now I've been on a few minutes. I don't feel too bad now. I'm going to sleep like a log, though, tonight, that's for sure. This camera seems a little bit off tonight. I didn't realize Supercars was on the C64, though. I'm going to have to try that out. Okay, they're not moving, but they're there. All right, so let's put the update in. That's interesting. Why isn't the update working? The update should be getting called. Thanks for the host, Pro7. Appreciated. Why isn't that working? Oh, is it because it's not update? Maybe I have to do plot all stars. Yes, I do. All right. So as soon as I've done an update, I need to then call plot all stars. So that's why. So the update probably is being called, but it's just not doing this. Yeah, it's a good point. I haven't seen you stream for a while. Cheers. Have you just taken kind of a little bit of time off? Oh, pickups. Oh man, I can't wait to play that game. It's looking pretty cool. You've done a good job of kind of picking up all the techniques and stuff. Very very impressed. Certainly for a first game, it's pretty epic what you've done already. So why's that not loading? Oh, because I've already got it open. That's why. All right. Just take your time with it. Don't. No. I think the thing is, Chiz, is you're a fairly experienced coder anyway, and you've done You've already done some 6502 with the Atari, and you did quite well on that as well. I think you're right to pick something complicated because it forces you to. I've said this a thousand times before. Um, Picking something that feels a little bit beyond your skill set is the best way to learn. And by the time you finish that game, you will know way more than if you'd have done some small thing, and you'll be much more confident and ready to do the next one. So I think you've done the right thing with that. Okay, there's a little bit of jitter going on here. I'm not sure what that's about. And two of the stars are completely static, so I don't know what that's about. Um, is that because we're actually? Oh yeah, we're doing this here. It should be stars dot max dot max stars minus one. There we go. I think I'm going to change the length a little bit. I don't know why they're jittering. That could just be to do with the position. The length of 5 up to 5. Yeah, they sound all right to me. They are a bit quiet. All right, let me knock it up slightly. DJ keeps talking over them. Oh, I'm sorry. I just have to talk more then. Okay, so they're kind of working, but they're moving at a weird speed. You can see our update is actually happening at this point on the screen. Um, and so what's happening is we're seeing the jitter here. So if I was to change that, what would I do? I think what I could probably do is I could wait for it to come down here because there's nothing else that needs to happen on this screen. Let me just have a look at the game loop stuff. I think I can safely wait to the bottom of the screen there. Just trying to figure out what the game loop is. Where is the game loop? Here it is. No, see, we do have lots of stuff going on here. Uh, hmm. Taking a bit of break from streaming, def at least a few months. Oh, okay. There's something to be said about finish the project. I certainly don't finish many. Yes, I am kind of in that boat as well. To be honest, the streaming has helped me keep up with that. Um, but I do find myself burning out now and again as well because of large things. But probably be moving in April's. Oh, okay. See, now it's a bit loud. I'm just gonna ever so slightly knock it down. That was a bit loud. So I think this is where it's being processed here. Um, got to be careful because we don't want it to happen at the wrong place. Maybe if I move this to the end, that's so. If I did this as the very last thing here, I don't know why frame X is there. And I've obviously got that open. I can tell. I can always tell when that thing's there now. Scroll frame. All right. So if we put it here, then what I can do here is just wait for the raster to reach that point, and just put always last here. And then that means in here, what I can do is I can just wait for the raster to reach that point of the screen where it's not going to affect it. So you can put, let's try C0. It's probably do it before then, actually. Let's try A0. And this will just repeat this until we get to that point of the screen. And hopefully that should Yeah, it is to keep the motivation going. It is really hard. This is why I'm trying to do as much on stream as possible now, because I realize when I do stuff off stream, I lose the kind of the will to play it, and then it kind of breaks it for me. So by doing as much as I can on stream, it keeps me going with things. Okay, we're almost there. We've got the stars moving. There's no flicker now, but you can see it doesn't look right. It just looks like a scrolling area. So what we're going to do now is we're going to set speeds for them all as well. So in order to do this, we need two things. First of all, we need a speed, random speed. Where's our stars? Here we go. So we'll set a speed here, and we'll go a similar route to this. But what I'm going to do, I am going to set this to be. Actually, how best to do this? Okay, let's just try it with 3 speeds for now. Like so. Oh no, that's not going to work either, because that's going to make. Okay, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. So what I'm going to do is this, and instead we're going to have a counter. The job of the counter is basically to every frame is to add this value onto it. If it overlaps, then we move the stars by 1, and hopefully that should create different moving stars. Because otherwise, what you have to do, if you move more than 1 pixel per frame, you have to clear more than 1 pixel per frame. You have to draw more than 1 pixel per frame, and then it starts getting to be quite a heavy routine. Don't want this to be a heavy routine. We want this to be quite simple, quite small. So we're just going to go down this route. I think this is probably the safest route. And so that's this bit here. So what I need to do is, first of all, I need to load stars.count x, and then add. We might need to change that routine a little bit there, actually. The random routine, because it's going to potentially make some stars almost static, which I don't want. So really simple. Add the speed, store it again. But now what we can do is put a skip in here, and if the carry is clear, we go to skip like so. And that's just going to make sure that we only advance the stars if it's looped around. So then in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a couple of different speeds. So I'm going to do a random number to 192 plus 64. So the absolute minimum is going to be 64. So the minimum is every 4 frames it's going to advance. The fastest will be every frame. Don't know how this is going to look. Let's give it a try. Yeah, what did that request? There you go. Oh, you're not having the best luck, are you? Did it have another? Maybe add another. No, hang on. Because maybe it had another. Shucks. Oh no, it didn't. Doesn't seem like it did. Let's see what happens. No, it's one very, very short tune. Yeah, it's just very short. I thought it might have another version in there, like a sub tune. Okay. Wait. Counter, not count. Okay. Sometimes I don't pay attention with code I've just written. So, oops. Okay, right. So hopefully now we should have stars moving at different speeds with different trail lengths. Yeah, which we kind of do on there. And that's kind of what I want. That's kind of the effect I'm after. So I'm pleased with that. That'll do. I am going to shrink the number of lines down a little bit and randomize it a little bit more. But that's kind of the effect I'm after. I might speed it up in some cases as well. All right, hang on. Let's just play around with the values until we get something we like. Also managed to rewrite the vertical scroll and reduce from 9K to about half K. Cool. Yeah, certainly. I mean, when I think because you're using the one that the horizontal one. Okay, I think you're using the one I did on stream, aren't you? Which yeah, it definitely won't be efficient at all because I was just unrolling everything to save me having to optimize it on stream. But if if you spend a little bit of time and optimize it, you can definitely get it to be way more efficient. Um, Horizontal is definitely where you can get the biggest gain if you're smart about the way you the way you do it. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. It gets a little bit more complicated when you start using tile, like reading directly from tile maps. Um, but you can see, I mean, definitely. I mean, 9K is way too much. 9K is way more than you should be using to scroll stuff around, unless you're using from unless you're using uh cartridge to do it as well. So you're reading directly from the tile maps when you scroll new data on the screen, or are you unpacking the tile maps somewhere else in memory first? Okay, not directly. Yeah. So yeah, use a buffer. Yeah, that's the most sensible way to do it. But sometimes you even that can be a problem. So the reason, so for instance, dot cosmos 2 has no space to do a buffer because the map is so big. um I can't really buffer any of it anywhere. Thanks for the follow, to Vese Boran. Welcome to the stream. So I have to read it from 4x4 tiles on the fly as the map is scrolling in all four directions, which is just nightmarish, and was really hard. And it's a combination of partial unrolling and optimization as well. But yeah, you can shut the map from tiles and other dynamic data. Okay, cool. Yeah, it is really difficult. And the other problem as well is because I'm doing full color scroll as well. At the same time, I have to be scrolling color ram around as well, with inertia. I probably spent about 2 months writing that scroller, like writing it, scrapping it, rewriting it, scrapping it. It's probably 5 or 6 iterations before I got to that. But now it can scroll like 19 or 20 lines of full color scroll, 4x4 tiles over a huge map as well. The map is massive, with parallax as well. Parallax and also uh, like removable pieces of the map as well. So you can pick stuff up and it's just a tile in the map. So you have a tile that's got a pickup item on it, and when you pick it up, it just switches to a different tile. That was kind of tricky to do as well. Uh, it's fun though. This is why we do these things, right? So it's all fun. Switching tiles, yeah, it's the easiest way to do it, right? But it does make persistence a little bit tricky. So what you have to, I mean, I don't know if you can go back to an area that you've already been to. Um, but if you can, I'm guessing you're having to, yeah. So you're probably having to do the same. You're having to remove it from the actual map data itself, or you've got a secondary you've got a secondary thing which says these tiles have already been picked up. So if you're going to draw this one, don't draw this one instead, which is how I do it in on the Game Boy Cosmos stuff. Although I need to fix the keys, as we noticed at the on the weekend, and for some reason, if you put 3 green doors in, then it breaks. Don't know why. Okay, I think this is kind of at the point where I should probably hand code some of these values in. Um, I think those ones are all right, but what I tend to do with things like this when I've got randoms in is I will play it a few times until if I see a version that I really like, then I will go and save the memory out and do that. That's yeah, no problem. That's why I do this. I think you might still see it. There is an awful lot of work gone into Doc 2. I think you will see it eventually. It's just at the moment my focus is on very much on getting the Mega 65 to a place where it can be released with some awesome titles. Okay, I still feel like there's a bit too much pattern in this. I mean, it's Toricon. This is the yeah, I was gonna say it's the Amiga version, isn't it? But there is a very, very good chance I might do Doc on the Mega 65 at some point. Um, just an update on that as well. Thank you to those who sent me artwork as well to look at. I've not had a chance to look at everything yet. I've looked at some of it. It's a very, very good standard. I am not going to commit to anything yet. There is still a few people I know are going to contact me soon with more stuff, so I want to give those people a chance as well. But thank you to everybody who sent me that stuff. I haven't forgot it. I will contact you all and let you know what I'm planning on doing with that. Okay, I'm kind of pleased with this. This is fine. I think I am going to shorten it from 5 down to 3. I think 3 is probably enough. What I'm doing at the moment before I commit to any particular artist or musician is just trying to work out what I'm going to do, exactly what I'm going to do. I've got a rough idea, but I need to test out some capabilities, some Mega 65 capabilities, which is one of the things I was doing before I fell asleep tonight. Just trying to work out. There's a few little things I want to be able to do, and I'm just trying to work out if I can do them. Okay, this looks good. That's all right. Yeah, I think that's the right length now. All right. I mean, I still feel like there's a little bit too much pattern in here, but I can live with that. That's not too bad. Okay, so the other thing that's in on this screen is this little Zub guy here as well. Oh, actually, that's interesting. The speed is related to the size, so let's do that. Let's keep the X random, but let's fill this in with different sizes. So uh, 3, 6, 7, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. And then we're going to set the speed to match these as well. So ones are the smallest, twos are in the middle. I'm going to make the ones slightly different, the twos slightly different. And then that would be the maximum speed. Okay. 29 now. God damn it. Okay. We've still got like 2.5 months left as well. Jesus. I don't know who else is. I think Mad Beagle might be judging these, and I think Old School Coder as well, maybe. Um, all I can say is, haha, we're busy. We are going to be busy. Um, which is a good point actually. So I know, Mad Beagle, Old School Coder, and Doxer have all submitted multiple entries, but just remember that if somebody's judging it, they can't vote on their own thing as well. So they're at a slight disadvantage there as well. Um, but yeah, the frustrating thing is that I've got to write a wrapper program for them as well. I've got to find a way to wrap all these programs so they will load from tape. And obviously, I don't want to do it like individually, one game at a time. That's just going to be painful. So I need to come up with a neat way of basically forcing a kind of injector RAM scenario for all the games. I've got some ideas how to do it. I think it should be fine. I just need to recognize the different kind of load styles, sort of, because I'm not going to be able to drop back into basic straight away. I don't think, anyway. I'd have to have a look at how it's going to work, but yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun for me anyway. I'm probably going to have to take a week off when I do that. So only thing that matters is it works on Vice. Yeah, if it works on Vice, it's absolutely fine. You can do what you want with it. The competition is not about making something which loads from tape. That's my job to do at the end. Um, and obviously the reason we don't expect you to make it load from tape is, as you say, Acme Infinite uses the tape buffer. So the space from 0200 up to I can't remember. Is it 0200 or is it 0300? It's somewhere in that area anyway. There is a tape buffer. So if you're trying to load it from tape, it's going to break and won't work. So 033C, yeah, I knew it was somewhere around there. So obviously, I don't expect your game to load from tape out of the box. That's going to be my job to do. So I'm going to write a wrapper which is basically going to load it into memory above 1000 with a little relocation program which is going to load it back down into the area and then launch from whichever entry address you've got. um yeah, 2.5 months left and there's 29 in the game. That's pretty insane. All right, I'm kind of happy with this. So what I'm going to do now, we're gonna have a look at the sprites, and we're going to create a new. So two new things we need to do. First, we need to make a way of. No, why can't I use? Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Can't see the bullets now. Can't see the bullets, and I think this is to do with the position of that thing on the screen. Okay. Shit. All right, so let's fix that first. So waiting for that raster to come down to here has the problem of breaking this. So it doesn't break it on this screen. So you can see if I go in here. I mean, it doesn't let me shoot through there, which is interesting. Which I should be allowed to do, but I'm not. It's not working, but I'll figure that. So that's one thing we need to do. Um, so so this idea of waiting here is probably not ideal. Let me try moving it up a bit. See if I can. Why I don't understand. Why is it breaking in that way though? Why is it not showing the characters there? It's an odd one. That this is Kick Assembler 6502 using Kick Assembler. lots and lots of macros. See, look, I can't see the bullets at all. You can see the decals, but you can't see the bullets. So right, let me take that out again. Let me just make sure that is the problem. I think this is the problem because we're not doing this anywhere else, unless for some reason we're using the bullet system. I'm not sure. Thanks for the follow, Joel Ander, and welcome to the stream. It's anything but 6502. It is mostly 6502. It's just there's a lot of C style stuff in there to make life a bit easier. And the only reason it looks like cheating to people who may be familiar with C64 from back in the days because it's a newer assembler, so it tends to use yes, there's a bit of a jitter in the middle. I'm not that keen on, which moves when I shoot. So the other option is to move it up the screen a bit to make it happen earlier, which is probably the right thing to do here. Because it's showing these perfectly fine. Or I could just not bother and leave it as it is, but the jitter is kind of irritating. Yeah, the reason macros look kind of more C-like is because it's a modern assembler, and the modern assemblers tend to follow more conventional programming languages, where the older assemblers tend to have their own weird kind of syntax for macros and stuff. They still have macros, they still have pseudo commands and kind of expression based stuff a lot of the time, but it just doesn't. It looks more like a modern code in kick assembly than it does in old code. But if you look at like TAS and stuff, they still have macros. They just look more assembly languagey. Okay, this is frustrating because I don't want to move it somewhere where it's going to break everything else. Because we have got quite a lot of things going on. So there's certain things that definitely have to happen before the screen gets updated. So I've got to be very, very careful where I do this. um, let's just move it up to the top for now, but I have a funny feeling it's not going to be the right way to do this. Because I think in the long run, that's going to be problematic when we start looking at lasers and stuff. Oh yeah, I missed the quiz as well. What was that? Oh, Head Over Heels. Damn, didn't we have that the other day? Was it a different platform though this time? Can't remember what it was this time. I remember what it was last time even. See, that works. But what bothers me now is that we're doing some stuff maybe in an area where we shouldn't be doing stuff. So on some screens it might cause a problem. I'm going to leave it as it is. We can always order these things. I kind of know that these kind of adjustments happen now and again. I'd love to know what's causing this here. Like what is making those two sprites appear here? And they're definitely sprites. So everything, yeah, the sprites because you can see the characters moving through them. There's no. Okay. I tell you, I'm going to take a quick break, guys. I will give you another quiz, and I should be back in 5 minutes. And then what we'll do, we'll start taking a look at the sprite. So first of all, I'd like to work out why these are here. See if I can solve that, and then we'll go and add the little Zub guy up at the top up here on the screen. Same position as the boxes. Yeah, that's true actually. Maybe it's because the boxes don't contain anything. Possibly. Okay, well, we'll take a look anyway. Hey, Doxter. All right. Yeah, I should be back in 5 minutes, guys. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Always intrigued when I see it's Stormbringer. It's gonna come true for you one day. Oh, let's. Oh, oh, steps, steps. Oh no. Oh man. Those are harsh. Those are really harsh when they're like that. But the game is the game. All right. Only problem with these cans is they get drunk really quickly. A bit off, but okay. So yeah, as Indy said, they are in the same place as the barrels here, which incidentally. Okay, let me try. So let's try that theory out. Let's shoot one. Wait, hang on. Yeah, all right. Let's try this. Twitch keeps saying I'm typing too many messages too quickly. Did Shannon do a spam lockdown? I did. The only thing is emote spam. That's it. So it shouldn't affect if you're doing the messages. Are you typing the same thing that you typed previously? Because that could be the problem as well. Sometimes causes an issue. Okay, so my theory is the visible area is from this point here. So the third, sorry, the fifth zero in the score. So let's first of all go and have a look where the things start. So yeah, the first one that's in the visible area is here. So I'm going to try just shooting the first two. And then going down, and hopefully there's yes. So Andy's right. Andy is right, and I know what this is. This is because those. Okay, I think we will fix this as we go. Now, yes, you would get AMK points, but I haven't set the AMK point up, so sorry, sorry. I will try and get it done for Saturday. So, you will eventually, be getting points, but I'm not going to backdate the points. Sorry. I don't even know what they're going to be for. I have no idea what AMK points are going to be for. Oh, is Twitch being buggy again? Is that what's going on? You have a spreadsheet. You can have whatever you want, but the scoring doesn't start until the system is up. So uh, whoever gets the most AMK points, I'll take out for a pint. We do. We should have. Oh my geez. I was going to say we should have a meetup at some point. Like we just meet up for drinks sometime. Maybe on some retro expo or something like that. When they do these. Uh, you know what I mean, when they do these shows and stuff. But yeah, COVID is going to stop that dead in its tracks. I realized as I said it. I mean, after COVID. Yeah, exactly. So I think what's happening here is because those are power up barrels. Normally, when you hit a power up barrel, this is what happens. It spawns a sprite, and that comes towards you. But the problem is these don't have any power up assigned to them. And so what's happening instead is it's spawning something, but it's probably spawning it off screen somewhere. And then what happens is when you go in here, it readjusts it to here for some reason, probably due to the way the screen smoke works. You missed 3 Nintendo 64 games in a row, Sean. You didn't really. Imagine how pissed you'd have been if that was happening there. The old medical smoke, I see. Wasn't it 4 and 64 game? Yeah, sorry, 4, not 3. Okay, so one thing we definitely need to do is stop those hitting the walls there. Although I need to check in the game to see if that happens, but because that's a secret area, they should go through. But what will happen when we fix these? Because at the moment you can only have one power up per screen. It seems like Shannon has 5 different monitors. He looks all around the camera. I just have 2, but they're massive. So I have a 43-inch 4K in front of me, and then a 34-inch ultra wide above. So that's so my area goes kind of arm's reach in both directions. If I put both my arms up like that, that's my kind of view area. Maybe not quite full extent, but if you to put your arms kind of half, yeah, and the camera's in the middle. If you to put your arms kind of extended diagonally, but with your elbows ever so slightly bent, that's kind of the extent of the top corners of my viewing space. And then it comes right down to kind of waist height. It's quite a long area. So if I look at the top corners, you've got one up there, and then the bottom corners are there and there. So it gives you an idea. And the camera's there in the middle. Streaming from NASA, it does feel like NASA Michigan. I've also got like a 49-inch TV right next to me as well. So for the console stuff and for Mega 65, I do my kind of Mega 65 play on that. Starfield Pirates, yeah, it's pretty simple to do using this technique. So this is like the cheating technique where you just scroll a strip of 8 characters. Right, C64 code whilst I'm not sure what you mean there, so I don't want to know. I don't want to know either, so just shush. Oh, okay. Yes. Yes, so I wasn't making the swordfish connection, but yes, I know now. Yeah. Yeah, I got it, Warlock. I got it, Warlock. Uh, okay. Yeah, so I think once we fix those power up things at the bottom, those sprites will resolve. But before I do that, I'd like to put the little Zub sprite in. Oh no, actually, no. Let's fix the power ups because I think I'm kind of putting it off, and I shouldn't. It's more important than putting Zub in, so let's do that. So the moment, I think what's happening at the moment is certain screens. No, where we have a list of the power ups on certain screens, and I can't remember power ups. Is it this one? Yes, here we go. Yeah, all right. So what's happening here? Also, where's it getting those? Where's it getting these names from? Are these in the constants? Yeah, so these are the power ups, and this is what's happening on each screen. So this is not going to work. So what's happening in this system is it's saying, okay, I'm on this screen. Um, what is the power up in this location? Let's just have a look. So this isn't going to work because this is assuming there's only one per screen, and that's not going to work. Also, there's another power up here, which is the mace, which is the big fly around thing, which is something we need to implement fairly soon. So it's probably going to be one of the next ones. Don't know what that power up looks like, but we'll. Still watching Let's Dissect. Yeah, Let's Dissect is pretty good. I'm probably going to do a few more of them again in the future. I think they're definitely they're more digestible as streams after the fact. So watching a dissect stream, you can kind of watch one and pick up a concept, whereas with the main kind of coding streams, it's a little bit more difficult. You kind of have to watch them all in order. So, okay, right. Let's figure out where this is being used because I have a funny feeling um, that is going to cause me some issues. Okay. Um, not developing anything, right? So thank you. It's good to hear that. I do this because I want more people to join in and realize it's nowhere near as difficult as it can be made out to be. And just with a bit of time and practice, you can do pretty much anything you want to do on the CC. So it all comes down to practice in the end. Do something enough, and you'll learn how to do it well. So and so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get more and more people to do this and just keep practicing it. Okay, so this is where the power up is spawned, and it seems to be deciding the power up based on the current screen. This is probably not ideal, actually. So let's have a look at the persistence data. So every screen has got in asset exports, it has a persistence data. Now this is generated by Charpad, and this contains the bonus pods like so. And maybe we could use this somehow to contain the data. Um, the other option would be to do it in here as well, to just add some additional information on here, or in the initialization, just to kind of assign. Yeah, actually, let's go that way. I think this is probably going to be the best way. So what I'm going to do is we're going to create we're going to create another function which we can call from in here. So you see how we've already got which we don't have any in that one. Let me go to a screen that does have something. So we've got these macros, screen macros that call this thing here. Let me put this over here. Um, so we're going to use functions in here, and what we'll do is we'll create a list of power ups that are currently on the screen. So a list of um, a list of power ups that are yet to be power ups that can be awarded on that screen, and we'll link them to um, something that we remove. So here's where we remove things. And at the moment, all we're using is the current screen. And this is the problem here. We're using this bonus mapping to do the work, and it's not the right way to do it at all. Okay, so we've got some okay, we've got a return there. But see, we have these destroy X and destroy Y. These are our X and Y coordinates. Now, these should, in theory, match the values in the persist. So in fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a breakpoint in here, and I'm just going to check those values. I'm going to put it here actually, and I'm just going to check that these x and y's match our persist values. Because if that's the case, we can use them as a kind of almost like a key to look up the correct power up, and then all we need to do is create a small area of memory of space for maybe 5 power-ups at most. Hey monsters, go boom, welcome to the stream, hope you're doing well. And then for each power-up on the screen, we just initialize it in here, so we would do something along these lines. So sm init power up, and then basically we pass in our x and a y, so we pass in the x and y values which would match the persist, and then what the power up is. It would be nice if it was included in this data, but I don't see a simple way to do it without breaking some of what we've already got. Actually, no, that's not true. Let me just take a look, because we might be able to do it. We might be able to do it in here. So the persist data currently is generated from the it's actually generated from the make file in here. So this make file in here runs this parser here, which looks at all the details in here and generates oh, I know why I don't do it in here, because I've got no way of marking it in the char pad. So this is the char pad for this map. I have no way of marking what the actual property is. I'm already using colors and materials and stuff. This is why I need a custom map editor for this, really. But I refuse to make yet another map editor. So, hey, Cosmin, welcome. Honestly, every time I do a project, I seem to end up making a new map editor, and I want to avoid that. I really want to use the LDTK that Monsters Go Boom show. Yeah, yeah, exactly, LDTK. I really want to use that. But it's probably a little bit late to do that for this, because I'm using some really specific stuff now. But certainly for new stuff going forward, I absolutely want to use that. I want to try and avoid making a new freaking level editor every time I make a game. It becomes a little bit tedious, to be honest. So if you have a look at the map, and bear in mind as well, this is still placeholder artwork. I'm using colors for various things. So colors is to do with the way particles explode, the directions that they explode in. Who was that? Mad Beagle, thank you for the resub, appreciated. So that's what the colors are for here. That's to allow the particle system to explode things in the right way. Could possibly be replaced. I'm not sure, but I need to think about that one. And then, oh no, sorry, no, the materials are what are doing that. The what are the colors doing now? The colors are doing something as well. I can't remember. Oh, the colors are defining where the corners and the middle are. So the reason these colors exist is so if you shoot something on this corner, for instance, it can look and say, okay, this is a top right corner, so I need to remove this way. And it's so it knows which way to remove things. So it's defining the kind of the outline of the shape. The materials are the one that define which way the explosions work. So and they're used to create the kind of upper byte of the most significant byte of the map data when it's exported. But that what it means is there isn't really any way of defining what this power up is, what it contains, without having a different character for each power up, which I don't want to do either. So I think what I'm going to do for now, I am going to hack it in this way. It's not a huge deal. It just means I have to go through each screen which I'm going to have to do anyway as we go through the game and just fine tune things on that screen. So in this case, it's just a matter of on this screen, we just need to note that if you shoot this block, you should get the exposition here, and then that can be used to look up the power up for that screen. Okay, hope that makes sense. It kind of makes sense in my head anyway. So that's Blackadder. You picked this one. That's a good choice. Oh, you just typed theme. Interesting. What were you thinking it was going to give you there? You have a cunning plan. I was just about to say Baldric's my favorite character there, but the more and more I think about it, they're all freaking brilliant. They've all just everybody in that show is great in their own way. Some more so than others in in different series, but for instance, I really like Hugh Laurie in the I want to say Blackadder 3. I can't remember which one it is. Where he's Prince of Wales. I fucking love him in that. He's so good. But then Baldric is great in that as well, and he's also great in Blackadder Goes Forth. I think Blackadder is at his best is actually at his best in his Prince George. That's the one, yeah. Prince Regent, yeah. Sorry, not Prince of Wales. I actually think um, Blackadder was best in the very first series as well, and also in the fourth one as well. Oh, cool! You met Miranda. She was. I can't remember who they all were. Yeah, the first series is hard to watch, but I think Blackadder himself was the Queen. That's it. Yeah, I think Blackadder himself was pretty good in the first series. But I think the rest of the story and cast was a bit weak right at that time. But then it just got so much better as well. Yeah, I like season one. I don't think it's as strong as the other seasons, but I do like it. I think Blackadder is really good in season one. I think that's what sold the whole idea. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I think it did, but it's because of the. I think it's because of the setting as well. I think it wouldn't have worked him being an idiot in the other ones. He needed that kind of wiliness about him, the kind of scheminess that he had in the other seasons as well. But yeah, it's just a great show from beginning to end. So it's hard to really pass judgment on it. Okay, so what I want to do in that case, I want to on entering a screen like this. So let's not start with the stars. Let's work with the very first screen that we enter into, which is screen 6. I have got the breakpoints set up. So let's see if Destroy X and Destroy Y matches on that screen. There are 4 seasons of Blackadder. This one is it, yeah. Hey, Scott Knows, welcome. It's definitely great watching. Great thing to watch. Okay, let's check these values here. So 1A15 is what I'm getting as Destroy X and Destroy Y. So let me check those against persist for this screen, which is this one. And yet, indeed, 1A15. So we can use these as these are our key. So it's a little bit weird because we're kind of repeating data, but the reason we're repeating data is because I don't want to Um, not that one. I don't want to write my own editor for these levels, so we're just going to have to kind of suck it up a little bit and add a new kind of function in here, which I'm going to call register bonus pod. And into that, we're going to pass the 1A15, but then we're going to pass a power up type. So at the moment, power up types are, I'm sure I had them in a file, isn't it? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, at the moment they're passed in this weird kind of grid here, but it only allows one per screen. So what I'm going to do is move that into here, which means we have to register it individual on each screen. I mean, we still had to register it here. It's just we didn't have to register its position. So I'm going to get rid of that so that that will automatically throw errors and make me fix that area. And then we need to go and do this macro. Okay. So the way I'm going to do the macro is really quite simple. So we're going to pass in an X and a Y and a bonus. And there's probably going to be a function related to this as well. So I'm going to create that as well here. The reason I do this where I have a macro and then a function is it keeps this code nice and neat. So I use the macro to do any setups that I need to do, like setting registers and things. And then I call a function so that I'm not kind of repeating it. Because if I had to repeat this code every time I use that macro, it would be a nightmare, right? So you want the minimal amount of code that has to change, and then a macro like this, a function like this. So music player is choosing nice tunes on it. Yeah, it's got a list of like the top 100 SID tunes or something, so it does tend to pick decent ones. When as a kid, we drove to the south of France with the audiobook of Series 3 on repeat. So the other thing we're going to need in here as well is clear. Which in itself can probably just call a function straight away, but I'm going to keep them as macros just for consistency. It doesn't really change the amount of memory that any of this is taking up. So it would just be, instead of calling a macro, you call a JSR instead. And then I guess we just need a space to put them. I can even put them in here. It doesn't matter where I put them. May as well keep it next to this area. So I'm going to create the space up here. And what I'm going to do is registered, or I'll just call it bonus pods actually, or bonus pods. I just want to make sure it's not kind of reused. And then X, Y, and then bonus here, and then next index. So next index is always going to be 0. So whenever we go into a screen, we're always going to call this first. Before it gets called, we're going to call clear edges as bonus pods. And what this is going to do, this is really, really simple. It's just going to set the... in fact, do we even need to... Probably don't need to call a function here. I think that's probably a bit much as well. I think we can just do... Yeah, let's just do like this. It's only going to get called once, so it's that simple. Fourth was World War Two, yeah, World War One. Sorry, yeah. The World War One is really good. This it's, what I really like about that is Lord Melchett and Captain Darling. Those two crack me up. With Stephen Fry and I can't remember the other guy's name. But my god, they crack me up so much. Captain Darling, yeah, I love the fact he keeps saying "darling" to him. It's just, I mean, it's his name, but it just sounds so ridiculous coming out of Stephen Fry's mouth. It's just great, great show, great show. Actually, making me want to watch it quite a lot. I'm gonna put 8 in. I actually no, eight's too. Yeah, I'll put 8 in because I can't remember how many is the maximum. Um, and then what we can probably have here as well is SM get bonus pod. We pass an X and a Y in here, and this will need because we will need to work out from this list what we've got as well. So when we register a bonus pod, we're going to pass these values in. In fact, does this even? Let's just write it and let's see how much we need to separate. Because sometimes we won't necessarily need to write a function like this, and the macro is enough. Um, Nothing to laugh about. Yeah, good point. That's a really, really good point. Oh, the quips, Blackadder's quips, especially in the fourth one, are just brilliant. Really, really good. Yeah, I feel yeah, it's all the jokes are fresh and new. I like Prince Regent in one where he's trying to pronounce something in the dictionary. I can't remember what word it is he's trying to pronounce, but he's saying things like distinctly minty munty and stuff like that. It's just takes him fucking ages, and he never manages to pronounce it right. Oh wow, that was quick. SP, very quick. That's good. Oh yeah, this anti-disestablishmentarianism. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and he said distinctly minty munty. Oh, this coffee tastes like mud. Yeah. On Ratatouille surprise, and the surprise is it's got rat in it. Oh Jesus. Okay, so register pods. Let's have a look. What do we need to do? So we need to and then we need to well it's yeah in fact I'm not sure we really need to. I don't think we need this bit here, to be honest. Let's just put it in and have a look. I have a feeling we're not going to need this because it's really not saving very much by. I mean, I could probably. No, I think it's fine. We're not saving an awful lot here, so let's just do it like this. So there'll be 3 of these. It's not going to happen all that often, so I mean, it's going to happen a couple of times at the beginning of a few of the screens. So um, it's not a huge amount of wasted thing, and you'd still have to pass these values anyway. So, and the only way we could do this is by potentially using all the registers, but then, for instance, to register. Oh, actually, yes, that will work. I think. All right, yeah, let's do it that way. Okay, so Right, so let's get rid of the thing for a second. Because I would like to save space if I can, but I don't want to overcomplicate things. But because this happens in it here, it doesn't matter if I use all the registers here. So I can pretty much just do this. Uh, okay. But now what I need to do is I need to make sure that I save certain things as I go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by pushing the accumulator onto the stack, which is our X, and then transferring X to the accumulator. Then I can load the next index. And the X is actually the Y here. So I can store that like so. Hope this is making sense to you guys. And then I can pull that off the stack and store that here because that's X, because this is the one we pushed onto the stack. And then I transfer Y to the accumulator and store that, comma X, RTS. There we go. Oh, the other thing I need to do here is increment that. There we go. Okay, cool. So it is does save us a bit of space by doing that. Whew. Yeah, yeah. Does he just he immediately every time he gets me just gambles it all straight away. I wish I was a real casino now, and then I'd just be raking it in off my own son. Oh my god, I'm down to my last Copperberg. Still got half a bottle of Kraken on my desk, by the way, so I should be drinking that on Saturday, I think. Okay, so now we're registering things, that's fine. And we can clear things, that's fine. So now we need to say get the bonus pod. So that is happening in here, which at the moment is happening because we're calling this function here to grab it, um, which is gladly using the Y and the accumulator. So what I'm going to do is I'm instead of doing what we're doing here. Wait, what is transfer accumulator to Y? Load Y. Okay, so it puts so it returns it in Y as well. Okay, so instead of doing this, which I'm just going to blank out like that. Oh, actually, I need to store that. That's a restore thing here. So instead of doing these three lines here, oops, we're going to do our own version of it, which is we're going to load the accumulator with X. We're going to load Y with Y. And then we're going to call the macro. Oh, it's always going to be in destroy X and destroy Y. So actually, we can just do that. We can just call get bonus pod. And then in here, I mean, it seems a bit pointless doing it like this, but it's just for consistency, I guess. So now we do this where we get this bonus pod. And now what we're trying to look for is something in this list which matches the values in destroy X and destroy Y, and then we will return it in Y. So I'm going to do is I'm going to set Y to 0. We're going to use accumulator and Y to do our checks here. Our loop is going to increase Y, and it's going to compare that to our bonus pods next index. And if it's not equal, it's going to jump back to here. Otherwise, return. And what we'll do before we return is we'll make it FF. So if it's a negative value when we return, we haven't found a bonus. which we should never get. But I think what this will do is it will return kind of junk or nothing. It's it shouldn't break the game anyway, but it will allow us to do some error checking if we want to later on, although we shouldn't need it. Okay, so now we're going to grab Y, and we're going to put skip here as well. See if it's not the same, we're going to jump to skip, and then we're going to do the same with whereas pods Y. And if it's not the same as Y, then we're going to skip. However, if it is the same, then what we're going to do is we're going to load bonus here. We're going to transfer that to Y, and then we're going to return. And that should give us the same effect. So let's try that out. So hopefully we've got one screen set up. So the first screen is set up to do this. I do need to turn off the breakpoint that I've got in here, this one here. Hopefully this all compiles. Did invalid number? Oh yeah, because I've got the X and Y in here. Don't need that anymore. Okay, I do need to check the memory banks at some time, but I think we're all right. I think we're not really. Yeah, see, look, the game code is using. Oh, we've got loads of room left. And the map tables are up here. Map code. Wait, why are the map tables so big? That does seem like an awful lot. I need to look at what they actually are, but I think it's okay. Oh. Yeah, where is that? I'm not seen Amok today. Actually, we've seen he was I have seen him around actually today. He was in the Mega 65 channel at some point today. After Brexit, Amok isn't allowed here. Oh, poor Amok. Okay, cool. That worked. That worked. So we can register them like this. So now I should be able to register these three up here. So let's go ahead and make 3 power-ups for these pods. So first of all, I'm going to go and have a look at the video, see what's actually in these pods. If I remember rightly, it's like, let's have a look. So is that double speed? It's a double speed, I think. Double shot and the mace. Okay, so double speed, double shot, mace. So let's have a look. So that needs to be in here. We need this format. Oh, and we need to clear it on each screen as well. We're not clearing it at the moment. So I'll do that in a second as well. Just let's get this bit. So we need 3 like this. And the power-ups are speed 2, shot 2, and mace, which actually doesn't have a symbol yet, so we need to add this one in. And then if we look at the exports for that screen and look at persist for screen 1, which is this one here, we should get the positions. So now we've got the 3 positions here. So they're all at 15, and then it's OC 1116. Okay, cool. So that's the bonuses for that screen. As I say, this map is still temporary. Actually, I need to contact Andy about that because we're getting to the point now where we actually probably do need we do need that screen, those maps now. I think there's still a few things we can do, like the swarm. There's a few other bits of screens that we can do, but it would be nice to start actually having the real screen data to work with, and then we're not having to go back and revisit these things. So Okay. Did he finish the map? He was doing it on stream. I can't remember if he. I know he's ripped the map from the game completely now, but I don't know if he's because every screen needs adjusting slightly to make it smaller to fit the 4:3 resolution rather than 16:9. Um, so he might not have finished that yet. I know he's been busy with a few kind of Nintendo releases and stuff. So and Christmas obviously as well. So he's probably just needs to get back to it at some point. There's still a few things I can do. It'd just be nice not to have to revisit the code again. That's like bits like this. I might have to revisit again and redo these numbers because obviously they're going to change slightly. All right, let's find out where this init is called, which is probably in the map loader, which is here. Yeah. Take +3. What temperature is it there? Oh, I see. Minus minus 22. Wow, that's. I didn't think you were that. Whereabouts are you in Finland, Aquafin? Because I didn't think you were that far north. I thought you were kind of like Helsinki latitude sort of thing. Or are you higher than that? I'm sure I've asked you this before. South Coast. Yeah. Wow. So that is pretty cold then for that because that's kind of fairly extreme, right? Because that's kind of minus 22 is yeah. I mean, you're talking Arctic Circle kind of temperatures there. So you must be having a rough winter. My God. God, what must it be like up in freaking Sariselka then? And Ivalo and places like that. They must be getting it really rough. I mean, yeah, sure, but I mean, come on. You say that like it's perfectly normal for it to be minus 20. That's fairly extreme in my opinion. Okay, that's it's not that one. It's this one, isn't it? Update exit. Shit, how does the init get called? Fairly extreme. uh, I know when I went to Sariselka, it was minus 30, and it was insane. I've never experienced anything like it. I mean, it was scary in that if you got caught outside in the wrong place, then you'd be screwed. But at the same time, it was fun. It's a really really extreme temperature that I'd not experienced before. So as long as you got the right clothing, then you can deal with it, and it's actually quite fun. It's where I learned to snowboard very very badly. The best cold ever in the history of cold. Yeah. I mean, we've had it cold here. I can't find this in it. I don't know. This is the init screen, but there doesn't seem to be anything which calls the init in here for some reason. Uh, Right, so it comes in here. Update. Oh, it's this bit here, isn't it? This is what's calling it. Okay, so here we need to do it. So we would do SM clear register bonus pods. There we go. Yeah, we've had it quite cold here, but I mean, it rarely gets down to that amount. So it's been a lot. I can't remember the coldest it's been in recent times. Maybe minus 10 or something like that. Maybe in the past 10 years or something. But um, -6 in the south. Yeah, that's the other thing as well. Since moving to London, I've had no idea. I mean, when we lived in Manchester, you would get much colder temperatures. Uh, because where we lived on the north side of Manchester. So just as you started going up into the Pennines, that's kind of where we were. Um, and that did occasionally get very wet and very cold. Um, but still not. Yeah, Scotland has -3. Yeah, I can imagine that. But even that's still quite rare. Oh, this is working perfectly. Also, the speed is good now as well. So there's that junk again because I don't know, that power up doesn't exist, so we need to add that in. But we've got the power ups working now, which is good. And see how it's got rid of this junk down here now. So that's pretty good. Right, I'm going to take another quick break. Then I'll come back. We'll do another 45 minutes or so. We'll try and add that Zub sprite in, I guess. Um, and then I'll call it a night at around about 12:30. And leave it till Saturday. But yeah, this is fairly decent progress tonight. Quite pleased with that. All right, back in a few minutes, guys. Be right back. All right, and I'm back. I was shouting that at the screen almost. Yeah. That's probably the most modern game we've had in quite a while. So, uh, oh, I know what this is. See, who's gonna get this quickest. Nice SP. Damn it! I'm starting to think I'd be pretty good at this quiz because I do seem to get them quite early. I mean, all right, I have no lag, so I do have that advantage, but I do seem to get quite a few of them while they're very pixelated. Mind you, I did put most of the screenshots in myself, so probably helps. Uh, okay, cool. I'm really pleased with this now. So this area is working. You can get the power ups now. I'm going to put the Zub guy in now. So you'll see on this screen there's this little guy. Just kind of floats around up and down at the top here. So all I'm going to do is just to go back to this, all I'm going to do is make him just move up, bounce off the top, move down. I could put him on a sine wave as well, but I don't think it's that necessary, and it's kind of a waste of bytes. So I'm just going to move him up and down. I don't think it really adds anything for him to be moving on a sine wave. And then I think on the next stream we'll probably add this weapon in because this is quite important and is going to be one of the main reasons we need the multiplexer, and we're going to have a think about how this works. So I'm going to get that in, I think, on the next stream. We'll probably add a little particle trail behind it, but nothing major. But we'll use some of the part, kind of like we've done with the exhaust rocket, just so there is something behind it. Could even maybe use two sprites, so one for the head, and then another one for the trail, and just have a faint kind of small trail just behind it, and then particles behind it as well. So I'm not sure how exactly we'll do it, but we'll take a look at that on the next stream. But for now, let's get the Zub guy in. So the dude up there, I think it's probably just going to be two sprites or something. Don't know. Let's take a look at the um, Cecconoid GitHub. So thankfully, he released all the assets in here as well, which is nice. Makes it easy for us to find things. Okay. Okay. Was kind of hoping that would just find it, but it did not. Just load sub and rob the real one. Load sub on the C64. I need it to look exactly like it does on this one, so I'm gonna steal it from here. Why I can't? I thought it was on here, but fortunately, this is not the best way to look at things. Wish you could view all this as a. Yes. Oh, God damn it! All right. Oh, background. Oh, really? Oh, 724 bytes. Not going to be that, is it? Yeah. All right. That would have been good. Okay. Do you see him? Ah, there he is. All right. Cool. This makes it nice and easy. This is a tune to get in your. Yeah. Yeah. It's making me bob my head around a bit. So I think I mentioned before, I did take a look at Amiga mods. I think I found a way to play them as part of the overlay. It would take a little bit of work. I do need to do a little bit of work on the overlay anyway to add AMK points in, to add quiz and race at the same time every time. But what I want to do is make sure that you guys have got a resource where you can see what mods are available. Um, so I need to find a good resource that matches what I've got downloaded and playable. So you like DeepSeek, you're using DeepSeek at the moment to find these tunes. It would be good if we had something similar for Amiga as well. So I shall be taking a look around them. So oh yeah, if anybody does know of a site that has all the Amiga amp.de, okay. Um, and what it will be a separate thing. So on the channel point, you've got request a SID tune. There'll be request an Amiga tune in there as well. Because otherwise, if you search, it's going to probably favor some C64 random tune over an Amiga one. So you'll have specific searches for it. So, um, oh yeah, what is the Motorola? That's a good one. Motorola. I have no idea. Good point. But yeah, that's what it is, right? Amazing how much of that dries. I've got 22 with all the formatting and stuff, terabytes on my NAS drive, and already I've used like 5 terabytes. I don't even know what for. So let me write some of those down before I lose them, because I need to find one where I can download all the tunes from, um, and B, it's nice and searchable for you guys as well. So there's modarchive.org. And amp.dac scene.net. Okay, cool. I'll take a look at those. I'm not promising I can have it done by this weekend, but I'll give it a go. So I need to be able to download every single one of the tunes. Um, Callum Fodder. Brilliant. Yeah, it's true. You can. And this is another reason I really like the Mega 65. The Mega 65 is capable of playing C64 music and Amiga music, and it could play both of them at the same time and still have 6 SID channels free. Sorry, 9 SID channels free. Which just blows my mind with how good the music is going to sound on a Mega 65 in the end. In the end. Oh, I like it. Give him little morsels to bet with. uh, okay. So looking for sprites. I have no idea where these are now. It's this one. Okay. So the thing with the sprites is we've got this is how many sprites we've got, but we need to be able to potentially change these per level, per screen. So some screens may want to use all the sprites for things. So there needs to be a way of potentially loading sprites in to a certain area as well. Now we do have these things here, these load add music things. So we could potentially use these to do that. For now, I'm not going to worry about that until I get to a screen that uses an excessive amount of sprites, and then we can start thinking about how to load them in. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and fit this sprite into, well, I think it's going to fit in 2. Let's have a look. One. Actually, let me just grab the bounding box tool. Oops. It is exactly 24 by 28. So yeah, it will fit into 2 sprites. So that's good. So I'm actually going to just squeeze them in here for now. Let's do it in white. 6, 7. Do not I need to do? I just need to put the grid on. Oops. I'm going to start with the helmet and work my way around from there, which sounds like the start of a very dodgy video. Start with the helmet and work my way around from there. I can't believe I just said that as well. That's terrible. Showing my mental age there, aren't I, really? Yeah, I'm talking about Spaceballs, of course. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes I do wonder about myself. I'm a grown man, but I do seem to have the humor sometimes of a 12-year-old schoolboy. Um, which is somewhat worrying. I never actually checked if I could just copy paste from there to there. That would be amazing if I could. I don't think I can though, so I'm not gonna risk in case I break something. But my God, that would be incredible if I could. So for anybody who hasn't seen this edited before, this is Asaprite, and it's my absolute go-to now for all art. Mainly because it never does any filtering on something. Like if I look at it in the browser, look what happens when you zoom in on this. It starts doing all that filtering and everything becomes blurry, and it just you can't really tell things. But it's actually if you import it into other programs as well, it can be it can end up a bit blurry as well sometimes, depending on the algorithm they use for pasting things in. But Aseprite is spot on. It's built for this sort of work, so um, and it's got really nice palette options as well. It's really like you can go into the palette up here. You can select where is it? Commodore 64 palette. There you go. Load. Oops. Oh my god, what's going on? And it will generate the C64 palette there, but I'm going to undo that so I can go back to here. So you've got palettes for all sorts of systems and stuff, and it's really cheap as well. It's, it's no Photoshop. You're not going to be able to do Photoshop style work in it, but retro work, absolutely. No reason you can't make a retro game in it. And I think it is what a lot of retro what a lot of pixel art studios use because it is so good. It's free if you compile it. Oh, you can compile it all. Okay. I never thought of doing that. I should have done. I didn't realize it was open source as well. Why are we drawing this way? It's because I need them on the C64. So unfortunately, this is. I mean, I could probably write a script to do this, but honestly, it's not that much effort to do it like this. So. Um, I see that's one of the bad habits of using Windows is that Windows users tend not to compile anything because we're so used to having everything made for us. We just don't compile things, and it's a really bad habit actually because it means you don't. Well, firstly, you miss out on a lot of things because there's a lot of stuff that you will only get source code for, so you have to compile it yourself. But you just you miss out on a lot of like latest updates and things like that. So um, yeah, it's a shame really that it's a shame that we do that. But it is just it's one of those things. It's what Windows users do. They miss out on these things all the time. Also, sometimes the tool chain is not as easy to set up on Windows because of stupid reasons. For a start, Visual Studio Code can be an absolute pain in the ass sometimes. Uh, I'd much rather use what's it called? Oh God, I forgot the name of it now. The new toolkit, the new Linux toolkit thing. I forgot what it's called now. Never mind. Uh, PCPKG Sigwin. That's the one. Yeah. Thank you. I knew somebody would remember. Karate Kid pixel deletion right there. Yes. So the reason I did that was just so I could work out where we were on the next line. Um, So I'm just going to put this guy in, and then I think I'm going to call it a night after that. So on Saturday, we're going to do what were we doing? I can't remember what we were doing last. Honest, for the life of me, I cannot remember what we were doing. I think we were just bug fixing, weren't we? So we'll continue to bug fix a little bit. I've got Zigzag sent me. Oh, it must have been 15 or 20 or so levels for the game. So we've got quite a lot of new levels to take a look at. So we'll have a quick whiz through some of those. I'm not going to show them all because I don't want to. I don't want to show everything straight away. Is my main reasoning for this. So I'm just going to do a couple of those levels, and then after the stream, I want to take a look at the Famicom. We'll fire up the Twin Famicom. I've not fired it up yet, so I'll save it to. I may turn it on just to check that it's coming through the OSSC or the RetroTink, whichever one I need. But other than that, I'm not going to play anything. I'll just make sure it boots. I'll just make sure it turns on. I'm not going to even stick a disc in the drive or anything. I've only got 3 discs, 4 discs I've got actually. I think this one's a disc. So look, is this one a disc? No, this one's a cartridge. I mean, does anybody know what that game is? I mean, what, what, what is that? Um, and the instructions don't help much either. So it's very weird. But look who it's by. It's by Tato. So I mean, I have no idea. Bikaki 7, Jesus Christ. No. No, you're wrong. It's number 2, whatever it is. Whatever it is, it was good enough that it made a sequel. So um, also, I love Japanese game cases. They open the wrong way, which is either that or they put the sticker in the wrong way. But I don't think they have. I think no, they haven't because it's thinner on that side. So like their books, they open the other way. And then I've got a couple of games um, on disc. So these are the discs, really odd looking things. And there's the Nintendo embossing at the bottom, which is actually another form of copy protection. Um, I have no idea what these are either. So this one doesn't have a sleeve for it, but it just has that picture at the bottom. So I've no idea what that is. This I'm guessing is some kind of soccer or volleyball game. It looks like a volleyball game actually, by the way she's holding that, and the height of it's not football, is that? It's a volleyball net. So this is a volleyball game. Uh, and then this I have no idea. Absolutely no idea what that is. Uh, was it embossed or indented? No, it's indent. It's actually. I don't know if you can see that. So the the writing is kind of indented in, like properly indented in, uh, not just embossed. But the I and the N go really far in. So you'll see how the I and the N look a different shade. It's because they go really, really far in, all the way through almost. Um, it's really, really, really odd cartridge game, so like disc system. It's very, very weird. Um, and they are. It is just magnetic disc. Um, Famicom, yeah, yeah, so Famicom disc system, yeah. But yeah, they're really strange. I've got another uh 8 of these coming, I think, various games. I can't remember what they are. I just wanted to get a couple, so yeah, they are double sided as well. Yeah, they are double sided. So what I want to work out is how many of the games do I need both sides on? Which is why I've also ordered an EverDrive, which apparently I can use to kind of um, to launch disk images on as well. And I'm getting I forget what it's called now, Magic Key or something, which is like a thing I can plug into the parallel port on the back, which will allow me to write and read the discs through my PC. And once I get those things, I should be able to work out whether I can use the flip side of the discs in any sense. So, but I can't wait. It's a cool system, so I want to try a few of them out. There's a couple of games I really want to try out. So, Super Sprint is there. Um, I think the first games I'm going to try out are the ones that I've played on the C64. Uh, You got 20 or so Famicom games with a converter to use them on my front loader NES. Yeah, I've got the converter to go the other way. So I've got the converter to put the American and British NES games into the Famicom, so I can go the other way. It's just a board. I need to 3D print a case for it actually, so it's a little bit better, but I hope so. I really hope so because I've got what, about 50 games back there, and the only ones I know I'm going to be able to play for sure are the ones I've already played on the C64. So like RoboCop and Super Sprint and stuff. Um, Spy versus Spy, and the Mario games because I've played them so much anyway. So it's pronounced it's, it's it's pronounced Nice for anybody who wants to know. It's not a nice it's not even a nice biscuit. There are also a lot of really bad games. So the main reason I got it is because I wanted to have a go at coding for it. So that's what I'm gonna do with it, which is why I'm waiting on the EverDrive and stuff. Um, yeah, I like nice biscuits. I just don't like Nice biscuits. I don't not like them. I'd rather eat every other biscuit. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to giving Nez a go. Actually, um, I'm probably just going to do some simple stuff in it. I'm not going to do any streams on it. At least I don't think so. Maybe I might do one or two, but I'm not going to go do the entire game on stream like I've done with things. I'm going to start kind of spacing it out a little bit. So, um, all right, let me just export this sprite data. Can I remember where the sprite data goes? Not there. There. Okay, so now we've got sprite, whatever this is. Oh, I don't care. Uh, Sprite 4 and Sprite 5. And these were 16. Okay. So if we look at screen 1, we'll get an idea of how this works, right? So this is screen 1. No, sorry, screen 6, sorry. And here's that orb anim. So I'm going to... Okay, so our orb actually starts at 16 in here. So you see 16, which means that the sprites must start at 40 here, because 40 plus 16 is 50. So we're looking at 4 and 4 3. So then all we need to do is we need to add these sprites in here. And returns a sprite index in X. Okay, so let's do this. Go to screen 1. Okay, so let's comment some stuff here. So register bonus pods, create Zub. Get rid of that. Don't need that there. Okay, so actually, what I also want to do on this screen here is call the update a few times. The reason I want to call the update a few times is so that instead of doing this, basically, I do this. And that's just going to make sure that all those stars plot so you don't see them grow. They're just immediately the right size. Uh, is it bad that I like rich tea? Yes, it is bad that you like rich tea. They're the most boring of all biscuits. Um, and yes, Nice biscuits are just okay biscuits. Rich tea shouldn't even be called food. Yeah, no, they shouldn't. They're crap, aren't they? At least with digestive, there's something, they soak up a brew nicely. They're good. Digestives are good, especially with chocolate. Oh my god, hobnobs. Oh, chocolate hobnobs. Oh, So nice being here, chat, having fun, gambling, doing quizzes, and having the bit. Oh, stop it! Stop it! Uh, yeah, I really wish there would have been something like this back in the day. I would love to know what I'd be doing now. So uh, I'd love to know what I would be doing now. Squashies. What squashy? Oh, I think I've had squashies actually. Are they the like not quite marshmallow, but like yeah, I think I know what they are. I think I know what they are. Yeah, that's drumsticks, but squashy. Yeah, yeah, I've had them. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Uh, did you know Boozy Sign and Made a Space Invaders game using those? I do, and I've seen it, and it's freaking great to be honest. This is I really like I really like demo scene guys that branch out like that as well. Um, there's too many demo sceners just kind of just ignore the game scene completely. And I love the fact that they've done that. They've done. I mean, yes, it was for the CSDB thing though, but it's good that they've done that, and it's a freaking good Space Invaders game as well. It's a really good Space Invaders game. A really really clever use of sprites as well, using sprites as a canvas almost. So they've done it kind of almost like a hybrid between a C64 sprite game and a Spectrum game. It's like a hybrid of the two. So they're using sprites as canvases, but they're also moving those sprites around as well, so they don't have to animate all the time by updating them by blitting to the canvas. They can move things around. It's very very well done. Very well done. That'd be a good dissect game actually. That'd be a good one to dissect. Although all you can see is sprites on the screen. So, um, but yeah, done really really well. Really well. Uh, Yeah, we'll raid Proton after this. I think I'm not going to have time to stick around, but I will raid him if he's still on. Okay, let's go through these very quickly. So I'm just going to create another thing here. I'm going to call it sub indices. And what these are is this is just going to be the values that we get from here. I'm imagining this is X, Y, and color. But I am going to just go and check that. I think it's X, Y, and color. Is it add sprite? Okay. X, Y, color, and frame. Yeah, okay. So we've got 44, 45. And it's kind of over the far side of the screen. It doesn't have to be super accurate. There's no actual um there's no actual interaction with his character at all. I'm going to put a sub direction in here. And I'm going to set this to 1. And we're basically just going to move him up and down in this area. So we're going to store that at sub indices plus 0, sub indices plus 1. And let's set the position. So let's start it at, say, 48, which means this one needs to be 48 plus 21. So that would be, that's plus 16, plus another 5, it's 5D. And there we go. That should draw our character on screen. So let's go and just try that out. And if that works, then we'll. Oh, I missed that. I missed that. What was it? Which platform was that? C64 again. We need to get more platforms in. There's like a 1 in 3 chance I think that any game is going to be a C64 game. Maybe I'll strip down. I don't know. I like having that many. It is a C64 stream after all. So. Oh yeah, SP's really cool with you. this stream. More ST. There he is. So one difference here is that there is no black area behind him. But honestly, it's not really worth adding that in for. You see on this one here that the stars disappear as they go behind him. It's not really worth adding that in for the sake of what is essentially just one screen in the game. If we have room at the end when I'm polishing the game, it might be something that I add in, but for now it's fine. So we're going to do this in the update, and what we're going to do is we're going to load sprite data and adjust things. So got plot all stars here. I'm also going to do update zub. Update zub goes here. Now, when we exit, do we need to do anything? Did we do anything on this one? Yes, we need to clear the sprites. Okay. Because we're using sprites on the screen, we need to clear them when we exit. Whoops. So you need to put that in there, and that just means I think there's probably one already in here. Yeah. I mean, that could probably be done automatically, but let's just keep it like that for now. Okay, so to update Zub, first of all, we need to load X with our Zub indices plus 0. Actually, yeah, like that. Then we're going to load multiplexer dot data dot y pos X, so we're getting our Y position. And then we're going to add our Zub direction. Thanks for the follow, Vapesco. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well on this lovely Thursday evening. Well, now very early Friday morning, actually, but whatever. Because we're not wrapping round, we can do bound checks without having to work out which direction we're moving in here. So the easiest way to do this is, first of all, we set up the condition, the end results here. So we've got exit where we don't do anything, and then flip direction here, which is basically going to take. Oops. Just going to make sure it goes the other way. So what we're going to do is we're going to check if we've reached a boundary, the boundaries. And the way we're going to do that, first of all, is we'll check the top boundary first. So we need to check if we were at or above the following position. So we start at, well, we'll probably have to change this value in a minute, but let's have a look where we start. So we start at 48. Okay. And exit here actually needs to do something. We'll get to that in a second. So we'll do this to. We'll check for 8 8 like that. If it's more than sorry, it needs to be pair. If it's equal to that or more, then we flip direction, which means the next time we'll go the other way. If it's not, then we do another check, and this time we check the top edge, and this time we'll check 40. And this time we check if we're less than that. So if we're less than that value, we go to flip direction. Otherwise, we jump to exit. Oh, can't use that. Sorry, a bit of Mega 65 coming in there. Still can't get your head around multiplexing. You should check out. There's a I did a stream about it on one of the dissects a while back, which is probably fairly useful. It'll give you an insight to how to kind of think about it. The first time you do one though, it honestly it is confusing. It took me a long time to figure it out the first time. And when I was younger, I never did a true general multiplex. I only ever did zone multiplexing. So I just had an area of the screen which, when it reached that point, all the sprites got moved to a new location. So the sprites never crossed that boundary unless it was player one. Like the player would move through that boundary, but everything else would stay in those positions. So that was the easy one. But general multiplexing is a bit tricky, and I only ever did that for the first time a couple of years ago now, because I hadn't really touched the C64 for a while. But once you get your head around some of the mechanics of it and what you actually need to do, it actually comes together quite quickly. So, okay, so what we need to do here now is I need to load this again, this value. And then I need to load this. Then I need to add 21 to it, which I'll do up here actually. And store that in the, and this is just making sure the bottom half of the sprite is in the right place. Why is that not working? Oh, because I already got it open. Encouragement and snacks. Can't argue with that. Yeah, I must admit it is one of the most daunting things, but once you do it, you'll kick yourself at how easy it is to do. It's just there's a lot of thought processes goes into it, so the first time you do it can be quite daunting. See, I don't like the random on that page. You know, the stars, they're too, yeah, it doesn't work very well on there. The layout. So one thing I'm going to do is as we go through this testing this, I will, when I find the right layout of this level, I will go and save the random numbers that have generated the edges of the screen here. You know, the layouts here, and the random star patterns as well. Make sure those are saved so that they can be repeated. But yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's not exactly the same. It's a bit quicker, but it's fine. In fact, let me just slow it down a little bit. That's probably the easiest way of doing this. Just slow it down a tad. So we should have. Thought we would have a counter somewhere. Uh, Frame timer. There we go. So it's going to move quite a lot slower now, which is going to fit the feel a little bit more. And then I think I'll call it a night here, and we'll go and raid Proton if he's still on, which he is. Okay, cool. Let's just test this, and then we'll go and do that. So I've got RoboCop for the Famicom, so it'll be interesting to see how the music and the game itself stacks up against it. Yeah, there we go. That looks pretty good. I mean, if we compare that to it's not bad. I mean, the stars could probably be a little bit less dense, but it's difficult because of the way that we're doing them. So, I mean, it's close enough, I think. There's going to be some liberties we have to take because we're on the C64. And weirdly, a denser star field is one we have to take because they're not using a repeating pattern here. Gareth has just created an array of stars that can be plotted all over the place. But with the C64, obviously, it's difficult to do that. So we use this kind of trick to make it look like there's more small stars than there really is. So one last check. Yeah, I mean that's pretty decent, I think. Um, I guess the starfield can't move up or down easy enough. Can it? No, it can't. It can't because the way that they're stacked, they're not lined up. But you can see the starfield in here doesn't do that either. So starfield is just moving left and right. But I think the random pattern that's in here, I need to find a way to make this less patterned, if you like. We'll find a way anyway. But what I like is that it is working when I go back and forth between screens. So these are different characters every time. So the characters that are being used here are not the same characters as there. They're different each time. So the system is working well. The sprite multiplexer is doing its job properly, even though you don't really need to multiplex on this screen. We're only using 3 sprites. I mean, well, a few more when I do this, but still only one, two, three, four. They're not sprites. They're just so yeah. Okay, cool. All right, let's call it a night there then, guys. Thank you for coming along tonight. Let's give Proton a raid. Say hello to Proton. He's a really cool guy. Another Finn as well. Demo coder. He does lots of very very technical streams. But if you're into the coding side, he's definitely worth a watch. You'll learn a lot from him anyway. Um, so just wait for that to queue up. There we go. But yeah, say hello to him. Give him a follow. And be prepared to be amazed by some pretty amazing demos. So the guy's always doing incredible stuff. So he writes music, he does graphics, he does code, he does the whole lot. And we've had a lot of his music on tonight as well. So um, okay, right, let's give him a raid then. Okay, thanks guys, and see you on Saturday. Take care.